Hello and welcome back to the Daily Royal, a podcast covering the daily events of all the European royal families. We are going to do an episode today. It's going to be brief. However, I want to do it today because there's a couple of events that are really pertinent to January 20th. And so I want to use this episode to talk about those events. That way tomorrow we can continue on with business as usual with hopefully not a whole lot of conversation about American politics. Look, it's going to happen, particularly because royals were addressing the new president of the United States. And so I just want to get that all kind of talked about now. That way hopefully tomorrow, we can have a podcast focused purely on the royals and very little on how it pertains to the current administration or the previous administration. And just I'm very excited about today, and so I'd rather just get all my excitement out, and then tomorrow I honestly am personally hoping to start a news detox, and so I don't want to be as clued into everything, so I want to just get it done and move on. So with that, we are going to go ahead and start with the Belgian royal family. So today in Belgium, there were actually no public-facing events. The one thing that did happen is today is Queen Mathilde's 48th birthday. So the Belgian royal household, in kind of their tradition, released a new picture to mark that occasion. It looks like the whole family probably did a photo shoot during their Christmas celebration or Christmas card photo. And so that's probably what we'll see photos of throughout the year. But it was a very great picture. I do already have one of them. I have the picture up in Queen Mathilde's birthday post, but then I will post on Instagram and thedailyroyal.com a little bit later today with that picture kind of by itself. So that, I'm pretty sure, is the only thing that happened. Let me confirm though, just because my Twitter feed has been moving a little bit faster than normal today. So I do just want to confirm that that is the only thing that happened, which it is. And then I am going to check so that is the only thing. I went and checked the royal family's website to see if there were anything there that I missed, any statements or anything like that, which it doesn't look like there were. Let me check one more place though. And their website, I'm sorry, it takes so long to load. I don't know why theirs is the one that takes the longest. But I have a new phone and it has 5G capabilities, so maybe it'll be faster now? I doubt it. No, it's no faster. Sometimes it takes a long time to reach these other countries' servers and then come back. Okay, so I left you guys for just a little bit while I waited for that to load because it was taking forever. But like I assumed, there was no additional information shared there. So with that, we are going to go ahead now and move on to the British royal family. All right, today, while nothing public was announced, it was shared with the Royal Rada, which is the royal family's press pool, that Queen Elizabeth has reached out to there were a lot of titles going through in my head. President Biden, to congratulate him on his inauguration. And then there were a ton of like stats. So listen, I have made no secret about my political affiliation. And so this is a like very exciting day. It's been a weird day. I woke up this morning kind of terrified of how the day would go. And then like everything seemed to go really well. And so now it's like, for me personally, like for the first time in 4 years, I still don't feel great about like the general direction of my country, but I feel better than I have since Donald Trump was elected president. So I'm feeling, as cliche as this sounds, like I can breathe again a little bit. Like I said, tomorrow I'm going into like a news detox and maybe I'll be able to sleep again. That would be really great. Because like it's just so important. So all it says is like, the Queen sent a message to U.S. President congratulating him on his inauguration today. And then certain royal reporters have gone through and talked about how, this is like Queen Elizabeth's 14th president or something like that, 14th U.S. president, which is not an achievement because like all it means is she's living, but like it is kind of a big deal. And you know, look, I'm not one to predict, I don't want to predict like a death or anything, but like depending on Joe Biden's, if he goes for a second term and wins a second term, like it's potential that he's her last, but she could very easily make it to whoever the next president is. I am not putting any doubt in her ability to just keep living. So that I think is just like a really cool thing that, you don't see a ton too much. And it's just like, there is a lot of, I'll talk about it a little bit more, but like a lot of the foreign royals that have talked about the election, are not ones that I talk about. So like, here's one from Jordan's King Abdullah, where he reads, where he congratulates Joe Biden on his inauguration, and then talking about the strategic partnership between Jordan and the U.S. And then also the Grand Duke of Luxembourg talked about the election just in general terms. And then we'll talk about it when we get to Norway. But Norway, King Harald sent a message as well. So with that, we are going to go ahead and move on. It's a little early and I haven't seen the court circular hasn't come out yet. If there are events on it, I'll talk about them tomorrow. But like I said, I just really wanted to like get the Joe Biden-ness of this conversation over as much as possible, because yes, I am looking forward to like talking about his ambassador choices and stuff like that. But like, I need to breathe a little bit and I want to just get Joe Biden over with and go back to preferably just talking about royals. So with that, we are going to move on to the Netherlands now. Moving on to the Netherlands, it was like a busy day from what I can tell with the Dutch royal family. There were a lot of things on the calendar. I'm sorry, I'm looking at Twitter because that's where all the information is. And this is, I'm so sorry, you guys. There's just a new picture of the Biden Oval Office and it's like, it's amazing. Okay. He replaced, okay. Sorry, y'all. I can't. This is just, it's a big day. That's all I can say about it. It's just a really big day. So, okay. Here we go. Moving on to the Dutch royal family, you guys, I truly, truly apologize. It's just been a weird day, just in general. So we have several events, like I said. Looks like Queen Maxima paid a digital working visit to an organization called the Breakthrough Method, or with the Breakthrough Method, which is, it seems like a debt relief method being used in this I don't know, initiative, there we go, for debt-free Netherlands that Queen Maxima is kind of like spearheading. So it looks like the Breakthrough Method is a method of reducing one's debt. I'm going to see if there's any like information on it that I can find to give you a little bit of information if, you know, that's something that you're interested in doing and like reducing debt. I don't know that we'll do this for every single one, but we'll try. So I'm seeing if there is any kind of okay. I can't find any good information on what this is. It's just a lot of like ads on Google. So I'm not sure what all of that is. Okay, well, that was a bust. Sorry about that. That's unfortunate. I was really hoping that there would be more information on it, but there was not. I also should preface, I'm not going through this with any kind of outline or anything like that today. Like I said, it's been a day, like a really exciting day. I've been glued to the television. I'm currently sitting in my car working right now, but it's pretty slow, so I thought I would just record now and not have to worry about the dog, because sometimes that gets really hard. So I'm just going through like social media and the websites to talk about different events and stuff. So I'm not going in any kind of order of precedence, which I normally do. Normally I would start with King Willem-Alexander and not Queen Maxima. However, I'm just reading through tweets in chronological order. So moving on, the next thing that they shared is King Willem-Alexander had a video call with the digital infrastructure, the Netherlands Digital Infrastructure Foundation, which are focused on keeping everything functionally working during COVID through digital means, which is, of course, super, super important. And then the last thing shared on Twitter, so it looks like Queen Maxima did like a working visit to the municipality of Tilburg and visited different organizations. However, everything was done digitally. So the next thing she did was visit, it's called Station 88, which is like a organization for entrepreneurship and innovation that's in the municipality of Tilburg. So that's what kind of is going on, at least on social media. I am going to quickly check the Dutch Royal House's website because, like, there's a lot on here. So, also on the calendar, but not shared on social media, is King Willem-Alexander appointed a new Minister of Economic Affairs and Climate. I'm guessing that the former minister had to resign effective immediately rather than resign in March at the election because of the corruption situation. Okay, that's the Station 88. Oh, King Willem-Alexander received credentials from ambassadors from El Salvador, Saudi Arabia, and Italy, which is, great. Really cannot wait for U.S. Ambassadors to start, one, being named, but also doing credentials. So that's all that was going on in the Netherlands. Kind of a big thing. I am also going to check here. I highly doubt that they have done anything related to the election, but I do want to confirm that. And they don't even have a press page on their website. That's super frustrating. Information for the media. There we go. Wow. Apparently, I don't think I've ever done this. They have all of the releases from the royal household and all of the Dutch government from 1999. So that's, awesome. Okay. So I have to subscribe, and I'm not subscribed at the moment. So I don't think anything has happened there. I haven't seen it go out anywhere else. So with that, we are going to go ahead and move on now to the Norwegian royal family. All right, so Norway. Here is where the politics really come in, because it's it's not a detailed, but it's like a full letter. So today, King Harald congratulated President Biden. You guys, here's what happens when I go to say President Biden. I start with President-elect and go, no, that's not right. And then I say Vice President, and then I go, no, that's really not right. And then I get to president. So every time I pause before I say president, it's because I can't figure out what his title is at the moment, because his administration is 7 hours old. So I'm struggling a little bit with that. I don't know why, but I am. I guess I just didn't allow myself to believe that President Biden and Vice President Harris would ever exist. And now that it does, it's very confusing for me for some reason that I cannot explain. So I do want to read, it isn't long, but it is a letter from King Harald, or I think they called it a telegraph or telegram. I don't know. I don't know what it is. It went through the State Department. That's all I understand at this point. And I do want to say that I'm going to read the whole thing, including the address. So it's the Honorable Joseph Robinette Biden Jr., President of the United States of America. And then it says the White House, Washington, D.C. And it is addressed, Your Excellency, which is pretty much the title that, or form of address that you will use for a president. Kings and queens get Your Majesty. Emperor gets Your Imperial Highness, or something like that. Presidents and prime ministers typically will receive Your Excellency. So it says, Your Excellency, on the occasion of your inauguration as President of the United States of America, I wish to extend my warmest congratulations and my best wishes to you personally and to your family, and my hopes for the welfare and prosperity of the American people. And then it's signed, Harald R. And R typically will always go behind a monarch's name, because it means it means different things. So when Queen Elizabeth will sign, hers is Elizabeth R, which is Elizabeth Regina. I don't know what the R is behind King Harald's name, but it's the same kind of thing. It signifies that they are the monarch. So King Felipe of Spain will sign his name, Felipe R. Queen Letizia does the exact same thing. She puts an R behind her name. It's just a sign of like they are the monarch or the monarch's consort. So that I expected a little bit more of that, honestly. So we got it from Elizabeth without a formal message, and we got it from King Harold, and I was expecting it a lot more from the other royal families, particularly in Scandinavia, because they are usually the ones on top of like sending out their releases. But we didn't get it, which is fine. But I was expecting a lot more of it, which is why I thought like, okay, we'll do a podcast today, and we'll talk about it. Now, listen, there are some things happening in like other countries that are a really big deal. And so that needs to be handled first. Okay. So that was the first thing happening. And then also today in Norway, Crown Prince Haakon visited a transportation hub in Oslo. I'm sorry, I don't have complete information because I am a slacker today. I'm not. I've just been focused on other things. Okay, so today he visited the tram base to thank public transport employees who have kept the trams, buses, ferries, and courts. Okay. Sorry, I also have something happening in my ear, so I wanted to listen to something. Okay, that was really awkward. Okay, I don't know what courts are, but that he went to thank them for running different public transportation options. And I just want to say that Oslo today looks like a winter wonderland. There's this picture of Haakon kind of walking by a tram, and it just like looks so wintry, wonderful. Like it's beautiful. I hate snow in reality, but like I love snow in pictures. And so this was pretty cool to see just like a snowy Norwegian winter. Okay, so that's what's going on in Norway. We're not going to talk a whole lot about Spain. I do want to briefly mention there were no events today, which is why we're not really going to go into a full discussion. However, there was a explosion in a Madrid building in the center of Madrid. And so King Felipe did have an event on his schedule, but I'm assuming because of this explosion, his attention and or transportation issues made it impossible for that event to happen. He does have a full week of events through the rest of the week. However, the event today was not able to happen. So that's really all that's going on there in Spain. Thoughts to the victims and those affected by the explosion in Madrid. It does look like it was a water main break or a gas line challenge or gas leak. But, still that is horrifying and scary. And Madrid is, this was in the center of Madrid, which is like obviously a populous area. So it's a big deal. And so I just wanted to briefly touch on that. But if need be, we'll talk about it tomorrow too. And so with that, I keep getting distracted. I'm going to quickly check to see if there was anything going on in Sweden, which there was. So we are going to move on to Sweden now. Okay, so today there was one event in Sweden, and that is that King Carl Gustaf attended virtually the Forest Day conference, where he gave a speech talking about how important the forest is to Sweden. So this was the 7th year of the conference. Obviously, this year completely digital because of, COVID. And then really just a conversation focused on work around forest and preservation, as well as the work that happens within the forest. So they released a new picture of King Carl Gustaf and his dog hanging out in the forest, and then a picture from his speech. And I try not to pick on royals. I know I do it, but I try not to. But sometimes King Carl Gustaf is he's a dork. Every king has their moment, and so it's just he's just a dork, okay? But he provides me entertainment every time. So that is what's going on. That is the day. Like I said, it's been an important day in the U.S., and so I wanted to talk about it in the context of how it relates to the royals. And look, yes, we're going to talk about American politics more, but in more of a context relating to the royals, as I try to always do. However, election season is over. It is officially done. Joe Biden is the president of the United States, and it's over. The stress of that period of time from November to now is done. So I will definitely be more diligent about keeping that out of the conversation, as well as if I do talk about it in terms of talking about ambassadors or anything like that, I will share the information. Look, I'm never going to pretend I'm not partisan. I very much am partisan. However, I want to share that information as unbiasedly as possible, but yes, I will definitely have biases, much like I called the U.S. ambassador to the U.K., former U.S. ambassador to the U.K., a political hack yesterday. I will continue to do that if I think they're political hacks. However, I'll be upfront, if an ambassador got their posting because they're a really big donor, I'll tell you that. The ambassador to Spain under the Obama administration, definitely a financial choice. Now, he's a good guy. He did a really great job. But he was just a big donor who was given an ambassadorship. So we'll talk about that and be as realistic as possible. And I'll try not to call people political hacks anymore, because that's not nice, but also it is true. So with that little disclaimer of where we go with talking about politics from here on out, I'm going to end this podcast. Please check out thedailyroyal.com, where I will be posting all of these pictures from the very few events that we had today. And we will talk more tomorrow. But until then, have a great rest of your day. Bye.